Hello, my name is Pauline Prince, and on behalf of my business partner, Brandon Banks, and myself, I'd like to welcome you to the Canada Prep and Fulfillment session, the solution for fulfilling your Walmart Canada customer orders. I've had a 21-year corporate career in both Canada and the United States, and had the pleasure in that time period of launching my own e-commerce business. And I know the wonderful opportunities that are presented in multiple marketplaces, online marketplaces that are quite lucrative. And as a Canadian, born and raised, upon returning to Canada, found that there are markets that are absolutely the first go-to markets for when you are looking at expanding your e-commerce business beyond the United States. Many of us start in the United States, but we shouldn't stop there. When I returned to Canada after working in the United States for several years, I realized there was an absence of certain third-party logistics, warehousing, prep and fulfillment services in the country of Canada. And I founded Canada Prep and Fulfillment in 2016. We now have 2 warehouse locations in Canada servicing our clients. We are Toronto, Ontario, as well as Vancouver, British Columbia. Our focus is supporting your e-commerce business. And one of the most strong marketplaces in the world, and definitely in Canada, is Walmart. As you are very much aware, Walmart has invested heavily, not only in the United States, but also in Canada. They've emphasized a focus on the online experience for Canadian customers. So they would be the marketplace, not just the brick and mortar store that Canadians go to. Canadians look for products in. Walmart Canada specifically is very focused on a very unique Canadian problem or issue, which is bringing more and more products that originate outside of Canada, manufacture outside of Canada, to the Canadian marketplace. So yes, Canadians enjoy a great deal of high quality products that are made in Canada, produced in Canada, distributed in Canada. However, we are looking for high quality products that come from elsewhere in the world. There's some challenges in ensuring that these brands also make it to the Canadian market. And so therefore Walmart has definitely emphasized the need to add more sellers to their market. So whether you're an individual seller, you're a small business, or you're a national brand, you're the brand owner, Walmart is inviting you, enticing you to join the Walmart Canada family and sell your products to the Canadian market. Now, traditionally, there's been many barriers to entry to the Canadian market. These have been very intimidating to many. You may be a national brand with great footprint in other countries in the world, and still feel a little stymied or confused by what it takes to enter the Canadian market. What do I need to do in terms of registration in Canada? Do I need to have my own physical facility in Canada? What are the tax implications? What do Canadians really want? What's the Canadian market really like? What are the demographics in Canada? There are a lot of questions around the feasibility, but then there's also concerns, questions, confusion around the how to. It just seems mysterious at times. Because I realized that myself coming back to Canada, as I mentioned in 2016, I noticed that it wasn't just a matter of having third-party logistics services. It wasn't just a matter of having physical warehouse services to fulfill orders or to prep shipments or to store inventory that was needed. There was a need for a wide range of, let me help you, let me show you how to establish your product here in Canada, get your product selling here in Canada, considerations with import-export, considerations with Canadian authorities, questions around how do I navigate shipping and how do I not have to have physical presence here in Canada, but do business in Canada. Canada Prep and Fulfillment was founded to help with all of those things. We do provide multiple services that smooth the way for you, whether it's pointing you in the right direction to get the answers to those questions, providing our own answers to those questions, and providing the actual hands-on effort that would streamline your business and bring your products to market. There's no need to be intimidated. It is much more straightforward than it appears. And with the helps that Canada Prep and Fulfillment can provide you, we'd be able to get your business expanded into Canada, selling on the Walmart marketplace, and fulfilling your customer orders to the Canadian customer. Canada Prep and Fulfillment will help. You may be in a position where you need to import the products that you will be selling on Walmart into Canada. Maybe they're coming from the United States. Maybe they're coming from somewhere else in the world. But ultimately, you want to put those up for sale, marketed, promoted, and available for selection on Walmart Canada or even other e-commerce marketplaces. And Canada Prep and Fulfillment is able to fulfill your orders to your Canadian customers. Perhaps you're looking for new supply sources. If you're not based in Canada, that may seem a mystery because you're not familiar with the distributors, wholesalers, manufacturers, not familiar with the Canadian landscape, the layout of the country. Which cities would you more than likely find the bulk of suppliers in? There's a lot of things that you may not know about Canada. And because that's true across the board, there is less competition in the Canadian marketplace for accessing suppliers. So you really have an opportunity as well to find supply sources here in Canada, to sell here in Canada on various marketplaces. But you also have yet another. If you already have a Walmart US, a store, you create a competitive advantage for yourself if you are sourcing products in a country like Canada that you would then offer for sale, offer for purchase by US based customers on Walmart.com. That's a consideration that perhaps very few people have looked into, that is readily available for you. Canada Prep and Fulfillment, we support your export from Canada to the United States, fulfilling orders for products that you are acquiring here in Canada and fulfilling to a US customer. So as I mentioned earlier, shipment assistance allows you to navigate what may appear a very complex maze of import and export. Because there's so many regulations, there's Canada Border Services Agency, there's US Customs, there's Canada Revenue, there's US authorities and other Canadian authorities that are all involved. Never mind that there are other countries where product could be originating from coming into Canada that therefore would have unique or very specific treatment on the entry of those goods into Canada, or products sourced here in Canada, the export of those products out of Canada into the United States, for example. So we've done a lot of research. We have engaged with all the players that I mentioned and others, customs brokers, carriers, shipping companies, transport companies, etc. And we've navigated such as to find the solutions and to find the solutions with the minimized costs so that more of your sales are ending up in your pocket as profits. We've taken the hassle out of the process, taken the fear and intimidation out of the process. And from a consultative standpoint in our services, we help you to feel comfortable so you know this is the streamlined process. These are the steps that are being taken. We're handling this, and this for you, and integrating with the marketplace that you're working with, in this case, Walmart. And you can feel confident that your customer orders are being handled professionally and efficiently. We essentially help you to automate your international expansion. Canada's right next door to the United States, where many of you started with Walmart. And as Canada is knocking at your door for you to expand, the international expansion doesn't have to be a big hurdle. We're here to help. As mentioned, you can go hands-free, source in Canada, access suppliers, establish relationships with manufacturers. You can place orders with those suppliers or manufacturers and have those shipped to either our Toronto warehouse or a Vancouver warehouse, where we will store your inventory. And then as customer orders occur in your marketplace, we'll pick, pack, and ship those orders to your customer. This is specifically a need when you don't want to establish your own warehouse facility. You don't want, whether you reside here in Canada or no, you don't want the additional expense of that infrastructure to be part of your bottom line. Instead, you're outsourcing that activity. And again, if you are sourcing in Canada, you can sell your products here in Canada, or you can export those products as you sell them on Walmart.com. Interestingly enough, where the greater interest lies is really the import of products that are manufactured outside of Canada to be imported to Canada to sell. Canadians are exposed to all of that marketing and advertising that's part of the US television consumption. We have access to US TV networks, channels. And so as Canadians, we see all that wonderful products that is advertised, not just on television, but elsewhere, print media, etc. So there's lots of demand for whether it's American products or products from elsewhere in the world. Canada has a very diverse population. If you can believe it, even more diverse than the United States. And so with all of that diversity comes an exposure to product that is from all over the world, because the residents of Canada have themselves ensured that those products are made available, maybe in some brick and mortar specialty stores, or we've sat down at a dinner table with friends of different ethnicities and culinary ethnic foods, and we've enjoyed. And so we want more of it. Or maybe it's a non-food product, it's health and beauty products, or maybe it's household products. Whatever it may be, we've been exposed to it and want more of it. There's a great opportunity there, and Walmart is emphasizing that, hey, help us bring more and more products to the Canadian market. It's in demand. So to do that, we offer the support that allows you to directly ship to our Toronto or Vancouver warehouses, from wherever your product is coming from in the world. But then also, if your product is sourced from within the United States, you have the opportunity to take advantage of our US warehouse locations. These are locations adjacent to the border closest to Toronto, the US border closest to Vancouver. Those border crossings are within an hour's drive or so of these two major Canadian cities. And we allow for shipment to those pickup locations cross-border in the US. And we'd arrange the subsequent import clearance through Canada Customs, transport to either our Toronto warehouse or our Vancouver warehouse. This will allow you to source from US suppliers or manufacturers, and potentially have free shipping to a US address, in this case, our US pickup locations, or just minimize the expense of your domestic transport within the United States. Again, once your product is imported and transported to our Toronto or Vancouver locations, we would store your inventory for ultimate fulfillment to the Canadian customer that would be placing orders in your Walmart Canada marketplace. One point to make about exporting to the US to sell on Walmart.com. This would be fulfilling of those orders for product you source in Canada, but you make available for purchase in your Walmart US store. There are provisions made in the trade agreement between the US and Canada that allow for the waiving of duties and taxes on exports from Canada to the US. There's specific requirements around that, and we'd be happy to explain that further to you. But it opens up even more profit potential there, because by purchasing products, sourcing products that are manufactured, say, in Canada, and offering them for sale in your Walmart US store, you're essentially bypassing a lot of competition. Not everyone would think to do that and have not thought to do that. You're also minimizing the costs because of provisions, as I mentioned, that are available as part of the US-Canada-Mexico trade agreement. So this is a means to minimize some of that competition that you're probably facing, heightened competition on Walmart.com. As Canada Prep and Fulfillment, we invite you to visit our website at canadaprepandfulfillment.com. We have 2 locations to support your business, again, in Toronto, Ontario, as well as in Vancouver, British Columbia. These 2 locations are the same company. We have shared administration, same website, same systems, just 2 different locations. Feel free to choose the location that's closest to wherever your products are being shipped from. So that means you don't have to exclusively use one location over the other. Again, these locations share the same administration. CanadaPrepandFulfillment.com. Go visit us. Register with us, it's free. You can tap into resources we've made available on the website. These are resources that you will be able to access once you've registered and we've approved your registration. As part of the registration steps, we do also offer a free 15-minute consultation with either Brandon or myself, you choose. And we'll be able to walk through your business's needs and explain next steps. On our website, we also have step-by-step overviews of the various types of services that we provide and how we help you in each of those services to satisfy your customers' needs and to expand your business. Our website also allows you to submit shipment requests. Your business may have started in Walmart in the United States, but it doesn't have to stay there exclusively. Expansion, international expansion, is very much needed, very much desired. Walmart has been emphasizing that for a handful of years now. One thing I've always said is that sourcing your products in the same places that everyone else is, or only working with the marketplace that everyone else is on, can sometimes produce frustration because all that competition piles up and everyone is trying to sell the same thing, or they're trying to access the same set of people. US marketplace is massive, big consumer market, hundreds of millions of consumers. Wonderful place to start, wonderful place to grow, but also a lot of sellers tap into that marketplace and you face high competition and downward pressure on profit margins. I suggest that you take a look at international expansion. Walmart Canada has a lot of resources to assist you with that expansion, and others have spoken to that. Expand your business beyond the United States. Start with Canada. It's an easy next step. And Canada Prep and Fulfillment is here to help you do that. Please visit us at canadaprepandfulfillment.com. Our email address is also on the screen. Email us with your questions at info@canadaprepandfulfillment.com. And we'd love to set up a time to speak with you so that your international expansion can start, or if you've already opened your Walmart Canada account, you can kick that into high gear, streamline that expansion, grow and scale your expansion. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you. Again, feel free to visit us at canadaprepandfulfillment.com. Send us an email at info@canadaprepandfulfillment.com.